with you again. Okay. So how's I mean, it's the first time, by the way, that at least four of us are together in 2022. So we can say actually officially for the four of us, Happy New Year, a great 2022, that you get whatever you wished for and everything that you want. And that is a wish that we do for everybody else. So what's going on? I know that many things are going on. How did everybody had a, how was the New Year's Eve? How was everything going? By the way, I know that Raj has got something important to tell, so I just shoot to Raj.
You'll shoot to me?
Yes.
You're gonna shoot to me? Well, first of all, Happy New Year's to everyone around the world that tunes in. Many blessings for 2022. And yeah, I listen, this COVID thing, I thought we were seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and then here came Omicron. But we're getting through this, and I always try to keep busy in some way. So my latest thing is with Amara La Negra. I don't know if you all have heard of her. She was on Love and Hip Hop, and now she has her own show. It's called Don't Cancel Amara on the Fuse Network. So I was honored to be asked to be on the show, and really, really lovely spirit. And we talked about LGBTQ, and of course, me representing the trans community. So a lot of fun, and you can catch it on on Fuse TV, the Fuse network. So Amara, love you, girl. And I was also on with Jason Rodriguez from Pose. You all know that show, that famous show. Oh my God, I'm sorry it's over, but anyway, I got to meet him. Very nice, very respectful of trans people. It's so refreshing when you meet other people in the LGBTQ community that truly make an effort to understand. Because, there's a lot of people that, they're kind of in their own lane and they're not really worried about, the other parts of the community. But he was so open and just really, really supportive. I could feel his love and support. So yeah, that's me. I'm looking forward to a very good year. I'm claiming it with many, many wonderful blessings. So I'll shoot it back over to Ella.
Oh, Ella,
we have somebody on here from Wales. We have somebody on here from Wales.
Across the, not far away from across the Atlantic, huh?
Yeah. Yes,
yeah, go ahead, Bonnie.
I just wish everybody a happy new year. As far as like doing a bunch of New Year's resolutions, I don't believe in that. I kind of believe I work on my things year round. And like I said last week, I have them taped everywhere in my house. So every place I go, except for my office, which I normally should have on the wall, but I have it in the bathroom, 2 places. I have it in the kitchen where I sit. Every place I go except for the office. I don't know why, but maybe because I don't like to do a lot in the office. Anyway, I wish everybody a happy new year. I hope that everybody's hopes and dreams come true. I hope that people find some, I don't know, I come down with COVID too, so this was my first time. I don't know, some people have had it multiple, but this was my first time. I got it on New Year's night, so I started New Year's off with COVID. But that to me could mean that I'm going to have a fantastic year because I got all the garbage out of the way. And other than that, I mean, just wishing everybody a happy new year, that all the pieces come together, and by making New Year's resolutions is kind of like, well, I'm going to win the lottery this week, but I didn't buy any tickets. And what's meant by that is if you want change, you have to work for it. Write it down, read it, go over it, do visualization. What your mind dwells upon is what manifests. So as far as all that goes, that's my belief as far as New Year's. So somebody else's turn.
Yeah. Jimmy,
I'd like to follow up on what Bonnie's philosophy is. I kind of am in that same camp, in that, you know, some folks need like a milestone to initiate a action plan to achieve a goal. So if New Year's Day is that milestone for you, you know, whatever it takes. I'm kind of in the same camp with Bonnie. You know, every day is an opportunity to initiate an action to accomplish a goal. You know, why wait till New Year or any particular day? You know, no better time than the present. And so that's kind of how I live my life. You know, I never let why wait? You know, you go somewhere and you're in a waiting room. You know, it's, you know, why every opportunity we have that blood is flowing through our veins is an opportunity to solidify our own existence. So that's kind of what I just like to say starting off here tonight.
okay. I agree with you guys. You know, every day there is something new, and every day is you have to make a commitment. So it's not only on New Year's Day. I believe with you, but I would just like to underline something this week because, first of all, MJ Rodriguez, she won a Golden Globe, and that was the first Golden Globe for a transgender woman, a transgender person, and someone which I personally found fascinating, really fascinating. She's done a great, great, great job. Something here probably a little bit more American. There's a program here called Jeopardy, and Jeopardy has a transgender person called Amy Schneider, and she has done amazing. She's over $1 million. She won over $1 million, and she's up in the top 3 people which won Jeopardy. And as a first woman, transgender woman, but the first woman that got so far. And congratulations to her from us as well, because I think that is some milestones, and it proves that we come from all sides.
You know, Ella, I just want to say thank you for doing that, because I recently posted on my social media that it's important for us, our trans community, to share when there's trans people out there in the world doing phenomenal things. We need to cheer our own selves on. And so that's great. I am so like ecstatic about her being on Jeopardy and showing the intelligence that many of us trans people have. So yeah, that is so important to do that.
She's amazing, by the way. She's really amazing.
Ella, if I could, I'd like to expand on Amy on Jeopardy. Also, I haven't watched a Jeopardy show in 1,000 years, and but the last couple of nights, I get home usually from work 7:30, 7:45, and I've watched a few of these, and this is what I would like to say about Amy Schneider, if I pronounce her name correctly.
You do.
This is what I'm talking about when all the horses are running in the same direction. When a person has achieved a state of cohesiveness, of the mind, body, and spirit are all in the same zip code, and the person is congruent. And I'm fascinated by how not only rapid that she responds, but the recall of information is just it's astounding. And that is indicative of someone who is totally at home in their own body.
Yeah.
And so that's what all humans are trying to achieve, is that we are at home in our own body. And I applaud Amy for her successes and her achievement as a human being. I think she exemplifies what we're all striving to achieve, you know, and so, but we all have our own recipe to achieve that sense of being at home. She has done it through vast knowledge and through the Akashic records of the universe, where some of us, like myself, achieve a sense of being at home in a more of a physical sense, in a spiritual sense. I do appreciate my cognitive ability, but I focus more on the spiritual sense. So we all have our own recipe for achieving what obviously Amy has achieved, and I curtsy to her.
Absolutely.
Ella.
I mean, absolutely. And thank you very much, Amy, and everybody, all these transgender people, which have become really quite special for, you know, for being so special, because you are promoting all of us. So it is really something which is really quite incredible.
I just want to also say this too. I found it very, very gracious about the way she responded to some of the hate that she's getting online. And, you know, there were people saying, oh, she's a man. And and her response was, oh, thank you for pointing out the fact of me being a man. It never crossed my mind. I mean, instead of, and I'm not quoting her word for word, but it was in that realm of a response. And instead of, like, you know, fighting back, like, oh, F you, and I'm not a man, she just gracefully made her statement, and that was the end of it. And
Is
so,
that on Facebook, or where is that? I didn't see anything.
let me try and find it. I'll see if I
I
can
mean, is
find
it like an article, or is it like a Facebook post?
It was, I think they grabbed it from, because it was on the news.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think they took it from, like, her social media, because people
Okay.
were, like, you know, making
Understood.
all kind of comments. Yeah.
There's always going to be people talking BS. Yeah, always. I don't care if you're the top college football team in the world. There's always going to be someone talking BS about that college football team, or anything for that matter. Her successes so outweigh any BS that someone's talking about her. It's negligent. There's, you know, people are beating up Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos for owning rocket ships. Come on, people talk BS about everything.
Exactly.
And so her successes outshine any negative comment. And she is on Instagram, where I do follow her on Instagram. I can't recall. I think it's maybe Amy Jeopardy or something like that, but you can find her.
Yeah.
And she usually comments on her attire or sweater or blouse or something that she's wearing. But very humble person.
And with a
Gotta
very
remember
high
when
level, very high level intellectually and of education, which is remarkable. Yeah, Bonnie, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say, usually when somebody puts you down, it's because they don't feel good with themselves. So they put you down so they can feel better with themselves. So the issue is not you, it's somebody else, their issues.
Yeah, absolutely. It's usually
Meanwhile, she's walking to the bank with $1 million in her purse. So come on.
Well, after taxes,
they're haters.
after taxes, it's no $1 million, honey.
Okay, we're not discussing
actually, she's over $1 million now. I think she's like 1,030,000 or something. So she's up there.
Yeah, she's there. She's up to in the million in the million club of Jeopardy anyway. So that is very.
And what's so extraordinary is how she can go her mind can go from one topic to another so quickly. Like, that's what I'm like just entranced with. Like, you know, she just, it just goes from one to another in like seconds. And she has the answer. So
I see that's one of the topics that the people are talking about, which are awesome, is the weather. So first of all, wait a second, where was that? First of all, Charlotte says Happy New Year. Okay. She's in Europe, so it's very late for her. We've got people in from New Zealand. So apparently in New Zealand, the weather is pretty hot because it's summertime down there anyway. So
and it's tomorrow in New Zealand, isn't it?
And it's tomorrow.
Rose wrote in that all elective surgeries have been stopped. I'm not sure what country she.
Yeah, and Rose is telling that here in Florida it's 60 degrees, so it's cold for us.
It's cold
degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm loving it.
So it's kind of cold for us, and then we've got Becca, and she says that the COVID has stopped all the surgeries in many places. They are stopping all elective surgeries because of COVID. So it's a little bit of an issue. So this, you know, they have to change.
My grandson was born a year ago in February, and when he was born, they wouldn't circumcise him because they said it was an elective surgery.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I just shared. I thought that was weird. I would have thought that just went along with having a kid, but apparently not.
But don't, you know, just to my comment to that is don't lose hope. Don't give up. Continue to stay focused. Yes, maybe it's a little bit of a monkey wrench in your plans for surgery, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So, you know, continue to keep your faith and focus, and you know, you can prepare yourself by doing all sorts of things, reading up on the surgery, and, you know, staying connected with your doctor's office and doing stuff like that to keep it moving, because you don't want to allow this monkey wrench of, because of COVID, surgeries have been canceled, for you to cancel your plan. Don't do that. You know, you continue to hold on to the vision and your goals and what you want, and you stay steadfast in that, because there'll be a day when it's over and you'll be able to get your surgery.
Just take it as a momentary postponement.
Oh, I like that. A momentary postponement.
Absolutely. So things will come back to. We are, you know, we are all in the same boat as far as COVID is concerned worldwide, and I don't know if we have to live with it for the rest of our lives, or if it will go away. I mean, with many things like HIV and so on, we just have to live with it. But, you know, let's say the medicine got so high that it did not become an issue anymore, or for most people. And we hope that, we know with this COVID, we'll have the same thing, or at least, I'm not sure if it will ever go away, but, you know.
Hey, Ella, even viruses have the will to live, because the reason why they keep mutating is so that because they continue to want to live, you know. But the blessing is this Omicron, it mutated to make itself more contagious and even a little resistant to vaccines, but thank God not so deadly, you know. So
yeah, but you never know what comes next, because they are really quite they're really quite incredible, these viruses. Can you imagine? Every single person in the world is scared of something they cannot see, they cannot touch.
I'm not scared. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You can see it?
No, I'm just not, I'm not gonna let COVID ruin my life. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna say, oh, no, I'm sorry, I refuse. I got COVID and I got it, I said the first of the year, I had 2, 3 bad days and I keep getting better. It affected my voice more than it affected anything. But what I'm trying to say is I'm sorry, I'm not gonna stop living. I'm gonna continue to live. In fact, I'm going for surgery, to get rid of all this skin on the back of my arms Friday. So I'm excited, and they're not canceling it. He has his own hospital room, operating room in his own facility. So it's a go on that. And it's like you just got to live, and if you got a right attitude, and a lot of times the messages that we subconsciously think about is what manifests. And if you see yourself as healthy and you see yourself getting good and you see all these things, what you vibrate vibrates back. And there's so much truth to that. And people think, oh, that's stupid talk, and you're out there in cloud 9 or this or that. But honest and truthfully, if you give off healthiness, you give up happiness, you give off positiveness. I put up a post the other day that said, people, they can pick up your vibrations before you actually even just your body language, your movement, your everything about you. You give off some kind of an emotion, and where's your head at, and that will determine the emotions that you're going to give off. So you have a choice. Doesn't mean everything's always going to be perfect and work perfect, but I'll guarantee you that if that's what you focus on, it's 1,000 times greater chance of it manifesting. It's just like me with lottery tickets. I say every week I'm gonna win, but I never go buy them. Well, one of these times in the near future, I'm gonna go buy one. But my point is that we can talk, but if you don't take the action, it's nothing but talk. But if you focus on it and you visualize and you see it, like I have things written down all over my house of where my goals are, and my chances of achieving them are like 92% greater than if I didn't write them down and read them all the time. I mean, that's pretty good odds. So anyway,
that is something we've been talking now for 3 years about, making your visions, putting together your what you call your plans, making all these things. And I think that is very, very valuable. I mean, I work all the time as well on my plans. And by the way, this week, I think I'm going to work again on my plans for this year, because it's not a question of what, New Year's resolutions. Is a question of strategy and visualization. And that is not a New Year's resolution, it's a daily resolution. So,
and I want to add to that, it's okay to change. Let's say you write your goals down that you want this, this, and this, and then somewhere's down the road, you go, well, I don't know that I really want. It's okay to change it. Put in there what you want. That's what it's there for. It's your map, your road map. Don't ever give your pen to anybody else. Write your own journey. With that being said, if you need to change a goal and your life changes or this changes, flow with it. Row your boat gently. Some people say down the stream. Some people say gently up the stream. Bottom line is just coast through life. And when you have to make a change, make it, because the clock keeps ticking, whether you're mad, glad, sad. I just got a mosquito. Isn't that great? Mad, glad, sad, or wherever your head's at. So why not keep it in a good place? And you know what? If it's in a good place, you're going to be healthier. You're going to sleep better. You're going to wake up in the morning feeling more refreshed. And when you go do whatever you got to do during the day, you're going to do it with a better attitude because your head is in a better place.
Absolutely. And
y'all are tapping into the essence of what it is to be a human being. Out of all the creatures on the planet, we are the only ones gifted with imagination and a sense of creativity and dream. And Bonnie, that little child rhyme, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So that in essence is a nursery rhyme that explains what y'all were just talking about. And y'all were talking about the coronavirus and all that. There's a psychological component to this also. If we choose to sit in front of the TV and indoctrinate ourselves with all the negative news, it's the same idea. What we fear, we attract. What we fear, we attract. And it's the idea, like if you are if you're afraid that you're going to get bitten by a shark, you jump in the ocean, one's going to swim by and going to bite your leg. Whereas if you just acknowledge the shark, it's just going to swim by and mind its own business. So I think a healthy approach to staying healthy is, make wise dietary decisions and so on, and the personal choice with vaccines and so on. But there's also a psychological component to this too. If you think you're going to get that shit, guess what? You will. So you have to have a positive outlook. I know in my life, I think of the future, and I don't have time for any of this stuff. I have things I got to do, so I don't have time for any of this stuff, and so therefore it doesn't enter my life. And we have spoke about this on other podcasts where we live our life in there's multitudes of dimensions that we can live our life. And all this BS that's happening are lower vibrations, they're lower frequencies. So just live your life in a higher vibrational state. And you're like flying above the storm. We've spoke about that. And so I live my life in such a way that I try to just live above all this nonsense. Therefore, it doesn't apply. Good, Bonnie and Raji. Good. That was a good little back and forth y'all had. That's what being human's all about.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I didn't believe that I would get COVID. And when I got sick, I said it was just a cold, but I went and got tested because I didn't want to spread it to anybody. And when they told me I had COVID, my mouth dropped because I just had a cold. I couldn't conceive myself catching, but I did. And, I also saw myself as getting better, and I've gotten better. Hopefully, knock wood, I don't know what to expect, but so far it's pretty good. I've had 4 really good days, but the point is that whatever the universe has in store for you, whether you see it coming or you're not looking for it, if it comes your way, it's how you process it. It goes back to the same thing I always say. It's got to do with how you perceive whatever happens. See, I perceived that I got COVID at the beginning of the year, so I got rid of the garbage right up front. It's the rest of the year is just, I don't know, I'm going to be really good. And that's everything. That's all. I was just trying to explain that it's all about perception and how you take things. Just because something negative happens, you don't have to perceive it as negative. You can perceive it as either a learning experience, as a I do concerts. I can tell you everything not to do or everything to do to lose money in a concert. I know it all. I could write a book. Now, as far as making money, that's a different story. But as far as losing money, yes. So it's all about perspective.
Perfect. Well, I just want to say, Bonnie, to piggyback on you, there's a saying, and I won't probably quote it correctly, but life is how you deal and how you handle with the things that happen to you. So, we put out the positive vibes, you think positive, you set goals, all of that good stuff. And along the journey, there'll be things that happen, like getting COVID, that you may not have intended on happening, but then how do you deal with the situation? And I loved when you said it's all perception and perspective and how you handle a certain thing. So, you know, I think that that says a lot to how a person is, you know, when they deal with the quote unquote blows of life, how you deal with the things that happen to you, good and bad, you know, and in between. So yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is we're all human. And of course, I'm not gonna sit here, although I'm one of the gurus, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, I never have doubt or never question things. I mean, I think that's part of like just being a human being here on the planet. But it's important, I think, to have that balance where you can bring yourself back to being positive and looking at things from a positive and uplifting standpoint.
Okay. Hey, I've got here something very interesting. Elizabeth wrote, as everyone read the draft of the new SOC of WPATH, SOC means standard of care. You know that WPATH is the organization which actually, you know, takes care of the health, mental and physical health of transgender people. And so WPATH has got a new version, which is called version 8. And they are asking people to read it and make comments on it. And it has been extended to January 16. So if any of you has the time and the inclination to do that, just go to their WPATH organization, and there is a video about the standard of care, version 8, and you can tell what you think about it and if there's anything that you'd like to have changed. I know that many transgender people are watching it. So thank you very much, Elizabeth, for sending this information. We really welcome, and we are here to help the transgender community. And I think WPATH is the central and one of the oldest organizations, you know, in present days to support us. So do something if you want, and you've got the time, do something about it. Give some feedback, okay? So it's on the WPATH, WPATH.organization, and you can find what, you know, you can find some information about this version 8 of WPATH. I'm not sure if it's very big though, but probably some of the most important, you know. So they expect that the final will be released, the new version will be released in spring of this year. So we'll see what's going on. Any comments on that?
Well, I'm definitely going to go to the site. Thank you so much for making us aware of that.
That is really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, we support you. Elizabeth, we support you. And we support all the WPATH and the transgender community, because I think it is very important. Anyway, thank you very much for attending, Elizabeth. Finally, on that, I just have one simple small comment that I would like to tell you and share with you about my life. I've transitioned, you know, some years ago, about 6-7 years ago. And I don't know, I always have a tendency to, you know, put some things behind me. And I was being very busy because, first of all, you know, I took my transition very seriously. I gave quite a lot of work to my transition. And I mean, that is gone now. And afterwards, I put a lot of work as well to something called, you know, on my daily work, and passing on my daily work and being active as a transgender woman on my daily work. And I was very successful. Well, then come COVID, And I did many other things like writing 2 books and stuff like that, because I'm a person which always has to do something. But then now lately, I've been realizing that something is missing because of COVID, actually. I'm realizing that, and I don't want to say that it's a positive thing from COVID, but, and I've been thinking about myself and making quite a lot about the thoughts of my achievements. And I have to say, you know, sometimes you have to go back on your life to find where you are. You should be proud of your achievements. You should not forget them. It is so important that you have, you know, I was losing a little bit the sense of, you know, of being proud of myself. I was so occupied with everything else. And I'm giving myself some more time now because of this to think about what I've achieved before. And even some of the things, some of the stuff that I liked before, which I have not done lately, to start again, like sailing and stuff like that. Probably I'll make one day, what do you call that? Transgurus for a sailing boat, from a sailing boat. That would be absolutely great. But as Bonnie was telling, you know, life is a journey. And it's not a straight journey. It has lots of curves. And thank God sometimes for the curves. If there's one thing that I am learning right now, thanks to COVID, is that you have to be at peace with yourself. And when you finish your Transgender, you've accomplished one thing, but it's not the end. There's other things that you have to go through as well. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful journey. It really is a wonderful journey. And I've had a very good share of it, believe me. But never forget, you're always constantly becoming better. And and finding your always kind of little things. And don't forget as well, we all change within 7 years, because every single cell in our body will be new in 7 years. So we are constantly changing everything. Any comments on that?
I can say
Yeah,
this. Go ahead, Jimmy, you take
No,
it.
I was just going to say that's awesome, and it's good every now and again to reflect on our past accomplishments. That redefines the foundation from which we make future decisions and future goals.
Absolutely.
And the one thing I wanted to expand on is that if we all the multitude of choices that we make will determine whether or not we're getting better or not. So I think it's important for all of us to establish a trajectory in our life. And what I mean by trajectory is, are we, let's say if we're improving and moving forward in our objectives on the graph, time left and right, accomplishment up and down, the graph goes in an upward angle. If we're making self-destructive decisions, you know, smoking, excessive drinking, bad lifestyle choices, our trajectory is going to, that graph is going to be inverted. So all these decisions that we make, little decisions, dietary, how we spend our time, you know, do we exercise? Do we meditate? Do we engage in a spiritual practice? You know, do we try to improve ourselves cognitively? Do we give ourselves time to dream and imagine? All these things are the ingredients for a healthy human. And that's the trajectory. If you want a general overall New Year's resolution, establish a trajectory for ourselves that'll take us in a better direction, in a self-improvement, not self-degradation.
Absolutely.
So,
Ronnie, you wanted to add something?
I was just gonna say, going back and looking at your past achievements isn't necessarily male or female. It's our essence. And our essence is who we are. How do we respond? How do we do this? How do we do that? That's our essence. Now, yes, our essence can have a female or male emphasis, but it actually, that part of you, I don't really think has gender the same as other things. And I also believe that when you have clarity of mind and you're in a good place, when the universe throws something at you, you're going to make a better decision, because you can make a decision from logic and not emotion. And if you're all emotionally wrapped up in something, you're going to whatever, explode or do something you shouldn't do, or whatever it is. But when you're able to process stuff logically, you will find that you'll make much better decisions, which will also impact a much better life. So,
Manoj, you want to add something?
Well, I mean, you absolutely brought tears to my eyes, Ella. What you said really resonated with my soul, because lately I've been thinking about my life. And one thing that this COVID thing did is well, there was a lot of things that it did, I think, for us as a human race. And nothing was really set in stone, in the sense that, like, I had events that I was supposed to be a part of, and overnight they were all canceled.
Sure.
And a lot of us, our socialization cut down,
Totally.
to a very minimum. And we were forced to be with ourselves. We were forced to be with ourselves beyond all the layers and labels that we call ourselves. And this is a moment when I think self-love and being okay with who you are is the question, and is what we are forced to do, what we have been forced to do. Because a lot of times life is so busy, and you're out and about and you're living in you're living life and stuff, but then there was a moment during this whole pandemic that kind of everything shut down. And that was a moment that I started to question a lot of things about life in general and about my life. And that self-love, I swear, it is so important for every human being to have, that inner self-love and being okay with the core of who you are as a person, as a being, beyond person, as a being, an energy, a vibration in this universe. And so, and beyond this universe in existence. Yeah, that really hit a chord with me. I'm glad that you shared that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think this was an opportunity, and it continues to be, for everyone around the world. Whatever your situation is, if things are shut down, if you're not socializing as much, if the career you had has ended, whatever it is, I think this is an opportunity to really go within and love yourself. Love yourself.
That is one relation that will never stop, because it's there,
Yeah.
the relation with yourself. So you might as well like it, because if you don't, you got in trouble.
Now you're gonna make me laugh, Ella. You made me cry. Now you're making me laugh.
Oh, welcome to Trans Groups. Anyway, Rosaline says here, the more honest we are with ourselves and the world around us, the more we are truly who we are and the best we can be. Those words came from God.
Amen.
Amen, yeah. And someone which is Rhonda, just started HRT. Congratulations, Rhonda. I hope you're going to find yourself in your right spirit and your right mind and your right body, because I think that is part of being yourself. Okay, with those words, and I would like to start closing down. So any kind of final statements that you guys have? Jimmy, you start.
I'm good. I think we said enough.
Okay, Bonnie.
I love what everyone said. Real good stuff we spoke about tonight.
Thank you.
Time well spent.
Thank you. Bonnie.
I'll leave off with love yourself. Treat yourself good, and even though you might be in your own little world, whatever, but take care and nurture that, because this body is a temple of your soul, and the better you treat it, the better it's going to treat you. And with that being said, I can't say anything more important than you loving yourself, being okay with yourself, and rowing your boat gently up or down the stream gently. My thing is that it all starts with you internally, and if you need to internally nurture the being that you are, and I think all the pieces fall into place by themselves. That's all.
Raj?
Yeah, I first want to say that it's just such a blessing to be a part of Trans Gurus, and to, sit on this forum with the three of you, Ella, Jimmy, Bonnie. You all bring such wonderful wisdom to this forum, and I feel blessed. I feel so blessed, and I know I'm the emotional one on here. I'm sorry, but
Not the only one.
I only get that way because it really, it's coming from my soul. I mean, if I speak it, I mean it. And so, and I also want to say to our viewers, it is just so wonderful to be able to know that being a part of this is helping and inspiring and encouraging you all around the world. I mean, I just think that me being able to be in this position, it inspires me to keep going and to keep doing what I do. So I just want to wish everyone around the world, and you three wonderful ladies, love, happiness, peace, good health, prosperity, and many wonderful blessings. And
thank you for the words and for your emotions.
Sorry, had a moment.
I just want to say something, it's just to finish, and as well to read some transcripts. Rose, thank you for only doing this. Needed this today. And Charlotte, thank you for a good live show. We'll be sleeping in the points you mentioned, literally sleeping on it, X. And then, and she thanks as well. So I just want to tell that in these cries of crazy times, where we are a little bit restricted more than usual, it is perfectly okay not to be okay. And it is extremely important that in these times, you put a mirror to your soul and get it out, the important things that you need to. I personally chose a counselor, a very good friend of mine, and she's helping me. Sometimes you do need some help, but I think it's not because I'm terrible or anything. It's just that, you know, the restrictions brought me a little bit of anxiety, and I'm clear about it. That's absolutely no issue. And it always helps to have people which backs you and help you. And I hope that we are here to do that too. Anyway, bye everybody. Thanks for watching Trans Gurus. We'll be here next week again. Bye. Bye. So we are not live anymore.